The Firearms Radio Network provides the bandwidth for this edition of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Podcast.
In a world dominated by gun bunnies and bad information, one show strives to bring you what you need to hear. They don't care about your feelings. They don't really care what you think. Join these men on their quest to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly that the firearms industry has to offer.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 387. We showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else you, as a gun enthusiast, may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and in this show we will be discussing ISO-tuned sport, a bunch of terrible ideas, and a good one. Of course, this show is brought to you by our friends at Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from your favorite brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearm parts, and shooting gear. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, fast shipping, and an expert support team. Our Primary Arms product of the week is from our friends over at Grey Ghost Precision, or Grey Ghost Gear, actually, and it is their pistol case. They're pretty cool pistol cases. I don't own one, but I have seen one, or two, or three, so they're pretty cool. So go check that out. And you can sign up for Primary Arms newsletter and more at frn.deal/PA. And with that newsletter, of course, you get all the, they send you emails about all the sale items, and they have sales left and right all the time. So
yeah, and their stuff sells out quick when they start a sale.
Yes, it definitely does. I will agree with that. And so, as you heard, that is Rob, and Tony is here. Zane said he may show up later. Something about Florida sucks, or I don't remember what he said. So, what did you guys do in firearms?
I'll go first because I didn't do squat because I've been working my week and a half, 2 weeks. So,
yeah, I kind of figured that was your answer. I didn't do anything either. I kind of was like, nah, I'm not going to do much. So that leaves Tony.
Well, that really sucks because I was supposed to go to the range today and ended up not doing it. So I didn't do anything except dry fire my CZ75s.
Huh. Well,
I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I contacted Danny from
Strike Industries.
And I gave him a list as long as my arm. And guess who I haven't heard from?
No, he's remember he's going to Texas for the Primary Arms range day type thing because they're still putting that on. So he was headed.
Chad's being nice. He's ignoring you, Tony.
No,
from Tony. He's like, no.
So I'm sure he's headed down there, and I think they were driving. So
yeah, they were driving.
Him and his buddies that he works with are probably like, oh, who's this Tony guy?
From California to Texas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What part of Texas?
Dallas area.
The show was.
I think.
No, Houston.
Oh yeah, Houston area.
Oh man, that's like they're driving all the way across Texas. That's like a 5-hour drive right there.
I think he told us how long it was supposed to take just driving, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I warned him in the email. I said, I told you on air. I was going to ask for everything. It's up to you. You said.
See, I mentioned something to our producer who actually puts the show together for us and uploads it and posts it, all except for the once that I had to do it, and it took me quite a while. So it made me very, very thankful that Devin does that for us. And so I was like, oh yeah, because I asked him if he could get it to me quicker so I could post it up sooner. And he did. And I'm like, hey, while you're at it, see if there's anything you want from Strike Industries, and I'll see if Danny can send it over for us. And so, of course, he sent me a big, huge list too. He's like, hey, if I get one item, I'm happy. I'm like, so I sent that over to Danny, and I didn't hear anything either. So I think he might regret coming on the show.
Danny said, what part of I have a budget don't you guys understand?
Well, hopefully
Well, we just think you have a big budget.
Well, no, it's okay. It's like, okay, one budget can be Tony's, one can be Rob's. It's a monthly budget. We just rotate it around to all of us and then he can give it to somebody else.
Budget? Yeah. I want a weekly budget.
Yeah, weekly budget, yeah.
Well, I look at it like if I do a build of Strike Industries, it becomes a Strike Industry gun, and we name it something really cool.
Yeah, you could just name it the Danny rifle or something.
Like the Rob rifle that now I have to put a new lower on.
Yeah, because you stole it, right?
That Rob rifle ain't nothing left of the Rob rifle. It's a hacked up rifle.
Well, here's the top of the Rob rifle.
There you go. That's all you need.
Is the barrel the same? No,
yeah.
Maybe the barrel's.
Everything's the same. What I did was I just dropped... Anyway. Yeah, Rob rifle's the same.
Gotcha.
Rob rifle's the same.
So, announcements. Bandwidth sponsors, our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. They do have the new patch of the month out, and it looks like Lady Liberty with nods and a pistol, and she's loading, and it says load and make ready. So it looks pretty sweet.
That was actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, okay, that's pretty sweet.
And he gets right what's the bane of every artist? The fingers.
Oh, God, yes.
He gets the fingers right.
Are you sure about that? They looked a little weird. I'm just no.
He got them righter than most do. I mean, that's why when Napoleon does his pictures, he's got his hand in his shirt, so they don't have to paint his fingers.
That's right, because he could never get a decent painter to paint them. But no, Ryan does a great job over there drawing that stuff up. So we do appreciate them sponsoring the Bandwidth. We still have the Gun Guys Garage discount code, which is pound for pound. And as of about yesterday, we have a new affiliate link. It's Walker Defense Research. They make the awesome Nero comp, some titanium bolt carriers, a few other things. The code's Insider15, so you can use that and get 15% off. So there's that. Plus all of the others that we have. You can go over to the firearmsinsider.tv and click on discount affiliates and find them. Or you can go to our show notes at firearmsradio.tv or So you can find it all somewhere. Now we can let Rob tell us that if we happen to slip and go off on the rails, that we're okay.
Okay, I kind of went robot on myself. So are you ready for me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And hey, we've got a main topic sponsor because we do have a main topic. So, Chad, tell us about that.
Well, our main topic sponsor is Midwest Firearm Solutions. It's MidwestFirearmSolutions.com if you want to go there. They do custom Cerakote, laser engraving, all kinds of various things on just about anything you want. If you mention Gun and Gear Review Podcast, they will give you 10% off Cerakoting. So if you're looking to have something Cerakoted, go check them out. And the main topic is I have a review of the IsoTune Sport hearing protection. And there's more than one type here, and they're combined in the review. They're essentially similar with two major things that are different. IsoTunes has pretty much come on the market with what they used to make. Well, they still do make hearing protection more for industrial applications, but now they brought out the IsoTune Sport brand, which is basically made for shooting stuff like that, not just industrial. And so far they introduced just two models, the Defy and the Advance. They're both very similar in use. The Defy is the over-the-ear style, like your normal muff style, while the Advance is in-ear style with, so you can stick it in your ears. It does go over your ears around the back, so it's not just like super small, just in your ear, but we'll get to that a little later. Both of them, the Defy and the Advance, have quite a few features that are pretty cool. The first one up is what they call their tactical sound control. Of course, the tactical sound control is separate volume for outside sound, just like most of your amplified hearing protection. You can adjust the volume on. They say it goes up to 8 times normal volume. You turn it up, it amplifies everything, as you know. including background noise, as with most of them that do that. But of course, it's a plus if you're listening to range commands, your friends, such stuff like that. When hunting, maybe you can hear, if you have it cranked all the way up and you're in a quieter environment, you can hear, a twig break or something, so you know maybe to look in that direction for your deer or whatever you're hunting. You can also turn them all the way down, which basically cuts all the exterior volume so that they're just normal hearing protection and you can't hear anything on the outside. And of course, when it's operating, the tactical sound control reduces loud noises to a safe level so that you don't damage your hearing. Like when a gunshot goes off, you get the idea. When you do power on the IsoTune Sports, the tactical sound turns on at about half volume, which is fine. But my only complaint with it is I wish it would remember the last volume setting you had when you turned it off. Not a huge complaint, but just something that I would have liked. The high impact noise response is listed at less than 2 milliseconds, so hearing damage is greatly, if not completely, reduced by the initial gunshot sound or anything super loud, explosion, etc. Now, both of these do have Bluetooth connectivity. As with most Bluetooth, you just pair it to your phone or whatever you're pairing it to. They do have noise canceling mics built into them also. So if you have a phone call at the range or something, people can hear you more clearly. I did test this out, not on purpose, but, some daughter of one of ours called me when I was actually at the range. I was using the Advance, not the Defies at that particular time. So there were gunshots in the background and stuff, and she said she could hear me fine, and they didn't seem to amplify the gunshots to make it so she couldn't understand what I was saying. And of course, with both of these, you can listen to your favorite podcast, hopefully us, or music, or whatever you're playing through your Bluetooth system. However, the IsoTune Sport line, both of these, will cap the max volume from that at 85 decibels, and they call this their Safe Max technology. The reason is because OSHA has deemed 85 decibels a safe volume limit for all day exposure. So basically, you can crank your volume up all the way, and you'll still only get 85 decibels and not damage your hearing all day. If you're in extremely loud environments, sometimes it can be a little hard to hear what's playing on your Bluetooth because of this. Not a big concern, just figured I'd mention it. And the Bluetooth controls are separate from the tactical sound controls, so it makes it easier to know which volume it is. And you can't really see on the video, but you can see them on the actual review if you go over to the firearmsinsider.tv. And because of that, it makes it so it's easier to know which volume you're adjusting. There's a few differences between the Defy and Advance. The Advance, like I said, are the in-ear, and they have a listed noise reduction rating of 26 decibels. The Defy comes in at 25 decibels. I don't know if 1 decibel is going to make a big difference, but I figured I'd throw it out there. I could never tell the difference between that decibel when I tried both of them at the range. So there is that. Connection to Bluetooth varies by an hour. The Defy is at 11 hours and the Advance at 10 hours. Now, if you're not connected to Bluetooth on something, the times jump up a couple of hours. So basically, you can spend most of the day at the range without having to recharge these things. Now, the Defy, which is the over-ear version, also has the option of using 3 AAA batteries instead of the supplied rechargeable. So if it either dies, you can put AAAs in it. That increases the use time to about 22 hours. And of course, it also gives you a different option if your rechargeable dies or you forgot to recharge it. However, the Advance, being in-ear, does not have that luxury. Both of them also have auto-off functions. The Advances, which is the in-ear, is 2 hours of non-use, and the Defy is 4 hours of non-use. Of course, they're both dust and water resistant, or you could probably they can get rained on and stuff like that. Just don't submerge them forever. Of course, they weigh quite a bit different. The over-ear Defies come in at just under a pound at 15.5 ounces, and the Advance weigh like 23.25 grams, which is basically an ounce. So they hardly weigh anything. Both of them come with a USB charging cord. The Advance comes with 4 sizes of ear tips and 1 set of triple flange style to use when you're not worried about the sound suppression. The Advance also comes with a little zippered carrying case like most Bluetooth headphones and stuff do. I've used these since pretty much they sent them to me. I've concluded that they're both good at what they do. The tactical sound system works great. You can hear range commands, people yelling at you like Tony. Oh, wait. Stuff like that. They do a decent job of not amplifying the wind too much, which I've had others that hearing protection that with their amplified sound amplifies the wind like a lot. These do a pretty good job of not doing that. The Advance, which of course is the in-ear, allows me to use rifle shotguns without causing problems to the cheek weld, which is one of the reasons I love in-ear hearing protection. Plus, they're not hot when it gets warm outside. I also use the Bluetooth on the Advance pretty much daily at work. It actually works quite well. And that way, if I'm actually operating machinery, they're not loud enough to be deemed dangerous, but it's still kind of nice that it deadens that sound some, and I can hear better listening to podcasts and stuff. Now, so that basically makes the Advance my new favorite hearing protection for what I actually own, and I have quite a few. The Defy, however, is not far behind the Advance. It's just a different style. They're very comfortable for over-the-ear hearing protection. Not necessarily hotter or cooler than any others I've used, but they are quite comfortable. The AAA battery option is pretty cool. The top strap has slots in it to help with heat, and also the button on your hat can go through it to help with that. So the cushions are nice and soft, comfortable, that kind of stuff. And if you have an extremely large brain capsule, like maybe somebody on here, they open up like super, super wide. I mean, you can put these over my headphones that I'm wearing now. So that's a plus. And they don't seem to be like super like springy there. So it's not like it's going to put a lot of pressure on your ears. And if you're just shooting pistols, or if you want something to actually keep your ears a little warmer in the winter, the over-the-ear Defies are probably a good choice. So if you're looking at new hearing protection, or you don't have any, most people do, I wouldn't hesitate to check out the IsoTune Sport line. Like I said, my favorite is the Advance, but the Defies are really good, and they have decent battery life. I can't really complain about anything except maybe the tactical volume not being the same as when I turned it off. But whatever. So, the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Of course, they're hearing protection with Bluetooth. Target market is pretty much shooters, hunters, anyone needing hearing protection of any sort, pretty much. Features and benefits. We kind of went through most of these, but the tactical sound control, the 25 or 26 decibel noise reduction, the weights in there. They're rechargeable batteries for 10 to 11 hours of Bluetooth connection. They don't take very long to charge either. A couple hours if they're completely dead. This is what it seemed like to me. They do have the noise isolation microphones. They do have the audio output limited to 85 decibels, the auto off, and basically that pretty much covers it. Other options and finishes available. They don't really make anything under this line yet. It's just the Advance and the Defy. There is a what others are saying in there. There's actually a link to another review with both of them in them from Wide Open Spaces. Price point is they're $129.99 for either pair, depending on what you want. So the price is fairly good for what you're getting. So if you need it now, you can get it from IsoTunes, or basically Amazon has them also, which, and if you have Prime or something, you get free shipping. Plus the link to the Amazon is the Firearms Radio Network affiliate link. So our rating, of course, the pros, lightweight for either of them really, just in different styles. The Bluetooth, the tactical sound controls with separate controls. I can show you, they're on the side on the little advanced ones, while the Bluetooth ones are on the front. On the Defies, they're one's front and one's back, all on the same kind of keypad type deal. They do have pretty good battery life. They're both comfortable. The Defies do have that AAA option and the 4 different earpieces for different size ears for the Advance. The cons, like I said, is it doesn't remember the tactical sound and the 85 decibel sound limit, because sometimes I like to hear it loud. I was waiting for Tony to start singing or something.
I did it before and you hurt my feelings because you muted me.
So, yeah, that was a complete different song. So, I gave it a score of 8.5, which is great. You guys got any questions while you're not on mute?
No, I was just checking them out, and it's always good to have a decent pair of Air Pro that doesn't hurt your head when you're in an all-day class or when you're on the range for a long period of time. Because, I mean, dude, it just sucks having that headphone headache.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yep.
So that is the IsoTune Sports line of hearing protection. And now, this is one of the IsoTunes was one of the good products we talked about earlier. I said a good one. There's actually maybe a few more. But now we're getting into the product spotlight and discussion. First
Come on,
up,
get Zane in here.
Yeah. Well, he's in here in spirit. It said he's in the chat. So first up, the Kimber R7 Mako. MSRP is $599 or $799, depending on if you want the Crimson Trace $100 optic, which now costs you $200. But hey, there's that. This is Kimber's completely new compact or subcompact pistol.
Clock clone?
I don't know if I'd call it that. Basically, it's to compete with like
Wannabe Glock?
Yeah, the Glock 43 or the Glock 48s or the Glock or the SIG 365 XL, I would guess, maybe, because not the regular one. The Springfield Hellcat, that size is what it is. It has 11-round flush fit magazines or a 13-round extended magazine, depending on what you want. This is a polymer framed pistol. So, like we said, complete new design for them. It runs, if you buy the one without the optic, the slide is still cut for the optic, which is a plus. It's cut for the RMS-C footprint, so the small optic footprint. If you order the one with the sight on it, it's the Crimson Trace CTS 1500, and it does come installed. It has their performance carry trigger, which has a pull weight of 5 to 6 3/4 pounds. It's your standard, flipper safety style. It looks like it's an almost flat trigger, but it looks like it has a tiny bit of curve. They say it's a short pull, consistent, clean break, more like a single action handgun. I'm like, I don't know about that, but hey, it is what it is. It does have co-witness tritium night sights. They're Glock cut for aftermarket options, so if you don't like those, you can change them out and put Glock style sights on it. It does have a hooded ejection port to vent gases and brass away from the optic. I don't think with the ones I have with optics, I've ever had problems with optics getting hit by them. Some of them, yes, can get some dirt on them from actual gases, but the brass itself, maybe not. Maybe on something like this with a good slide velocity, I could see that maybe, but it is a complete hooded slide, just so those that know. And basically, yeah, it's what you get. Everything else, it is 9mm if you need to know that. We can go on here. It weighs 19.5 ounces without the magazine. The length is 6.2 inches. Height 90 degrees to barrel is 4.3 inches. It is only an inch wide. All the rest of it is pretty much normal. It's got a 3.37 inch barrel. We already mentioned the sights. That pretty much covers it. To me, it looks like a High Point and a Hellcat had a baby, but I don't think that, I guess,
If they had a baby, they put it up for adoption. Nobody wanted the thing.
I'm glad that Kimber is trying to break out of their 1911 everything. But I don't know if they did it with this well. The frame itself, I'm okay with. It's just, why would you add the extra height to the slide to make it a closed, hooded ejection port when you don't need it? Maybe that's my only question.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. It's not even questions at this point. It's just like, was it regular crack or was it flavored crack you were smoking when you decided to do this to your brand? When Kimber came out
with some LSD and came up with this.
Dude, and okay, this is the reason I'm saying it. Everyone knows when you're talking about Kimber, whether it's their revolver, whether you're talking about their semi-automatic pistols, one thing you can say is they're good-looking guns. You might, talk about the reputation about everything else, but the Kimber model, they're known for the good-looking 1911s or even their revolvers. This is none of that. Mm-mm. And then to top it off with one of the cheapest red dots on the market that doesn't even have dude, come on, dude, really? And you're charging $200 for the $100 red dot.
I mean, Sky puts the same red dot on their pistols, and they only charge you like $350.
Yeah.
Do we have an MSRP on this?
Yes. Yeah,
$599 or $800. Yeah.
Yep, $600 or $800, and I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. The answer is no. I don't even remember what the question was, but the answer is no.
My concern would be, if you've got that hooded ejection port, would that cause it to become like a stovepipe or a Jam-O-Matic or something like that? I hope
that's not. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, you just cut down on the size of the ejection port. And truthfully, from Kimber, I would, because I'm looking at their single stacks, right? Their single stack 1911s about this size, weigh like 15 ounces. Hey, Kimber, just make a double stack.
Yeah,
make a double stack.
In 1911 style. Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's happy.
Has anybody actually complained about the gases that come out of a 9mm fouling up your optic? Because I've never seen that happen to mine.
And I've never heard
this question.
All right, Zane's
really
here.
Nasty 9mm ammo and some really crappy 45 ammo. Sorry.
Awesome.
So the reason they use the hooded ejection port is because when you put the cheapest optic available on the top of your gun, you have to protect it at all costs.
Okay.
And as for, is it going to cause stovepipes, Rob? It's a Kimber. It's going to stovepipe. So there you go. But I will say one good thing about it. Here, what I like about this gun, because it's Kimber and Crimson Trace, that guy that is always at the gun store every time you go will now stop telling you how terrible small polymer guns are, because now that Kimber makes one and puts a Crimson Trace on it, they're fine. So we're going to get less arguments at gun stores with old people. Yeah, that's the good thing.
Alrighty.
The bad thing about it is everything else.
And ladies and gentlemen, Zane has just made it to the chat.
Everything.
I mean, I can appreciate the initiative, I guess, but the execution is a little. And that's even if it
the
works.
Execution, I favor
Kimber's quality control has gone way downhill from what it was 30 years ago. I mean, to the point where you don't know what gun you're getting from Kimber. It might work, but it might not. I mean, you're getting like High Point quality control with Kimber prices.
Well, that's why it looks like a High Point.
It kind of does with the huge slide.
It does look like a High Point.
It's ugly. It's ugly. At least High Point knows their guns are ugly. They're like, yeah, we have to do this because it's blowback. This is an $800 gun when you put the little red dot on it, and I don't know.
This is ridiculous. It's a bad move, and it'll join. What was the one they had that disappeared? Evo, or I forgot.
Oh yeah, something like
Solo.
that.
The Solo?
Yes,
yeah.
The Solo.
Yeah, it's going to disappear like that. This is horrible. It's an inexpensive gun that they're charging a lot of money for, MSRP. And, dude, I mean, truthfully, no one was clamoring for a polymer frame. No one was clamoring for this. No one was asking for it. You could have come out with a double stack, same size, in the 1911 type that you're known for, and I think that would have brought people to you, and it would have made your current customers happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
14,
and you know what?
Go ahead.
The more guns that are in this space, the better, because it's going to create competition.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't really see anyone who's looking at a Hellcat or is looking at a 365 or a Glock 48 going, oh, actually, let me take a look at that Kimber. The only people who are going to buy this are people who already have 17 Kimbers in their safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And maybe it'll be a fantastic gun, but I just seriously doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but the way they executed this, it's not good looking. You put a cheap optic on it. It looks really weird. Oh, well, I guess that's number 1 and number 3. But it's like, no. This is a swing and a miss, I think. A double stack would have worked. This, I don't think is going to work. And I don't care how many influencers you give it to and they say it's great. It's garbage optic on it.
Oh, did this happen with this, too? Were there 19 videos released in the same day?
Well,
and
same day.
The same talking points? Mm-hmm.
All of them. Like, they all got sent a script, and they changed 2 words. They cheated off of each other's homework, and they all came up with the wrong answer.
We're gonna get to cheating off other people's homework in a minute.
Yeah, that's next up.
Yeah.
But so at least Kimber's now realized that that World Wide Web is important, and they're just not gonna do full
the back page of
the back of every magazine ever. They're like, there might be something to this World Wide Web.
What?
This internet thing might not be a fad.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, listen, if you want one for free, they're having a giveaway on their homepage.
Yeah, and if you win it, maybe it'll run.
I don't know. I might put in for it because free is free.
This is true. Free is free. Okay, so that was the Kimber R7 Mako. I've heard things about saying something about somebody was watching Baby Shark or something and Shark Week or something, but we're done with that. So up next is the Smith & Wesson M&P 12. MSRP on this is $11.65. And this is the all-new Smith & Wesson bullpup shotgun with 2 separate tube magazines, if you can believe that.
It's a rip-off of the KSG.
Hey, I haven't got there yet.
Heard of this design somewhere.
Yes, it. Let me run through this, and then we can compare it to the KSG. Of course, it is 12 gauge, 3-inch chamber. It holds 6 rounds of 3-inch shells or 7 of 2 3/4, and that is per tube, I believe. So you can get a total of 14 in it. It runs an M&P grip, which, I'm assuming their new rifle grip and shotgun grip. It basically looks like their pistols and has the interchangeable grip inserts in the back. Of course, it's got an ambidextrous safety selector. They say it's optics ready because it's got a rail on top. The normal stuff. It's got a 19-inch barrel. It weighs 132.8 ounces. So what is that, like 9 pounds, something like that? It's 27.8 inches long. It is almost 4 inches wide and 8.7 inches tall. They don't really give too much information on it. It is pump action, if I had not mentioned that. Let's see. Yeah, and it's per tube. It doesn't say how you switch the tubes from left or right, but, we can all kind of guess how that's going to work. Reciprocating cover with release button for clearing damaged shells. Assist button on each magazine tube to make loading, unloading easier. It's got a push button magazine tube selector, is how they use that. So basically, as we said, Smith & Wesson, since Kel-Tec could not keep enough of the KSGs in stock, Smith & Wesson pulled a Ruger and decided to just copy it and make it themselves.
Hey, Chad, if you look at the little pop-up picture thing, there's a button on the side above the trigger next to the tubes that says push button magazine tube selector. So I'm guessing it goes through the side to side.
Yeah, that's. I still have not found. Oh, I see it. I see it now.
Yeah, it's like it's above the magazine. It's in this little like indentation cutout thing in the.
Yeah, I see it.
Sorry.
I don't. But the other thing, I see it up there. But the problem is you can't use your firing hand or anything to push it.
Well, if it's a push through, you can take your weak hand that should be running the slide,
yeah,
with vertical grip, and push it one way, but then you have to reach under it to push it the other way.
Right. That's what I'm like. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I see what you're saying now. I saw I scrolled down there. Yeah. But hey, let's see.
KSG with a vertical grip on the forend. I mean,
so I'm wondering, legitimately, not me talking crap. I'm wondering if they licensed the design from Kel-Tec, because I mean, they either licensed this design from them or they're going to get sued. Well,
it depends on I don't know if like copyright patents, stuff like that, if it's been out long enough that maybe it's expired, and so now they can.
This came out. The Kel-Tec came out in 2011. I mean, that's when it hit the market. I don't know when they put the pattern for it.
Unless they only got a 10-year
patent. We're changing it just enough to avoid their copyrights.
Yeah.
I believe that Smith & Wesson did to Kel-Tec what Ruger did to Kel-Tec with the LCP. They took one of their designs and they improved upon it and made it better. And everybody's given standard manufacturing DP12 a pass, right? Nobody's talking about that one. Like everyone's forgotten about that one already. The one with 2 barrels.
Yeah, because it's it's one of those things. It's like, okay, they only make 5 a year, just like Kel-Tec.
Yeah, right. Because that one holds 14 rounds, and I've handled that too, and that weighs almost 10 pounds, 14 rounds.
Is that the one where you pull, press, then pump?
Yep.
Yes.
Twice.
You pump it once and then fire twice and then pump it once again.
Yeah, I hate that.
So it's a pump action double barrel. So let me go ahead and say they're good ideas, except it's heavier. It's harder to clear a malfunction. When you load it, pretty much it's just taken completely out of action, which, yes, let's go ahead and be truthful. This thing holds 20 mini shells. If you have a firefight going on in your house that lasts 20 shotgun blasts, you're gonna be famous.
or because you're either a terrible shot or you're going to be famous for a good reason.
Yeah, let's just say you're gonna get airtime with the Branch Davidians. So yeah, sure. And I got something to say to Smith & Wesson. Stop using the M&P, dude. Look, you've watered down what M&P means to the point of ridiculousness. No military or police department will get this gun and issue it.
Don't say that. Somebody will.
Unless you give it to them.
And Tony will take one if you give it to him.
Well, if you're giving stuff away, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But understand, this is a lot of money for a shotgun when there's 870s. There's Beretta 1301s. There's M4s. There's a lot of firearms that have track records. And then there's this. And that's cool. And if it's an improved version of the KSG, awesome. Hey, I hope you make a whole bunch of sales. I was checking out a lot of the stuff that it was saying. And it's cool, but it's still in the category of a KSG, which is a range gun. It's a range gun. It's not to that point
and I
yet.
think that's a very important point to me. I see the KSG touted as a great home defense weapon a lot, and in my opinion, it's just not. It just isn't, and neither is this. If you want this, it's considerably more expensive than the KSG too, isn't it?
I think so.
Well,
I don't know.
But
now
it's
I'll look it
like
up.
the KSG is not unobtainium. I'm sure they're going to make more than a dozen a year.
Yeah.
No, I think I like this if it works. Like, I'm serious. If this works, then I have nothing to say bad about it except, I'd stick to me personally would stick to a regular shotgun until this picks up. One, they work out the kinks because I know it's got to be because it's a brand new gun. And it gets a track record.
Yeah, and for
And also wonder this: why is its Picatinny rail attached with screws?
yeah, that's a good question.
Like, why isn't
Yeah,
that
it should have been,
permanently
like-
attached?
Yeah. it's
We're
weird.
talking a shotgun here, bro.
Maybe you can take it off, and there's a bead there for when you go.
Trap
Is there a
shooting?
bead there?
No,
How
no,
do you- how-
no.
no,
You
you
screw
can't-
you screw the bead in to where the screws that hold this rail on go.
Because I'm looking at it going, dude, you can't get a cheek well and see a bead with this thing.
No.
No, I'm joking.
That was my question. It's like, why isn't the pick rail attached permanently?
I don't know. And to answer,
My biggest question is why the M&P pistol like grip? Like it's ugly for one.
they're going to go
Looks fine
to
on their
it.
pistols.
They're going to go
Because
to it on
with this
everything.
brand,
I'm assuming it has the like changeable back straps and stuff.
Yes, it
Yes.
does. Yes, it does.
Okay, so all well and good, I guess, in theory, but I guess I don't see the purpose in that. Like, if I don't like the grip on I can buy a Magpul MOE grip for $19.
Yeah.
So
That doesn't
I
bother
don't
me
know.
as much. That
it
doesn't bother
bothers
me as much
I
as
think-
this.
I think
This
it looks ugly.
what bothers me is how do you manipulate a light if you have it attached to the M-lock?
That's a good question.
you'd have to have it.
No.
You'd have to have it with enough slack in the cord to run it down to the foregrip and allow you to cycle a shotgun.
Because if we're talking home defense, and I'm sure this is what they're trying to use this for, right, at M&P, I'm like, why don't... Because I was looking for pictures to post up, and I'm looking at this like, you have the M&P name, military and police. A white light is something you'd have on any shotgun at this point in 2021. Why don't you have pictures of this with a light on it and how you run it?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even serious in your own ads about how to run this thing tactically. You have a dude with no sling. You have a guy with no sling holding the shotgun like he's at the range chilling. And you're not even doing it in your own ads or your own commercials. No one's running it like you run a shotgun, a tactical shotgun.
There you go. And for your guys' information, the KSG is only $900 MSRP, and it weighs 1.5 pounds less.
Yeah, I don't care about the weight because the KSG is built like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I looked at it. I handled it. I even shot the KS7.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're built cheaply compared to any other shotgun. So I'd like to check this out and see if that weight, transfers into better fit and finish.
Right. I get you.
Yeah, I think maybe the more weight might actually be useful because I do not like the recoil impulse of bullpup shotguns. It's not that it's harder. It's just, it's weird, and I don't like it. It's hard to get used to, and so maybe with more weight that will tame that a little bit. But yeah, I've shot both the KSG and the KS7 or whatever it is, and it's just the recoil impulse is different than any other firearm I've ever shot. It's just weird. To include bullpup rifles, it's just weird. I don't like it.
And I mean, and also, I didn't look this one up only because it's semi-automatic. The Tavor 12. Semi-automatic bullpup shotgun.
Yeah, with the rotary magazine, or is that the Tavor 12?
Tavor TS12. It doesn't. Is it rotary? Yeah, it's rotary.
Yeah. I shot that at SHOT Show. I liked it, but I didn't like it because the weight is very odd on it to me. Other people like it, but to me it felt really odd weight wise. Like, it's not light either. I mean, it's like 8.5 pounds or something too, or 9. But it was just the way the weight felt to me. But
because this it holds 15 rounds.
Yeah, because there's like 5 in each. It's like a 3-rotor magazine.
Yeah, and it's a 9-pound shotgun.
Yeah, and it just, the weight felt weird. It shot fine, and I didn't think it was weird shooting it. It was just the weight of it was kind of odd to me.
So these are, I mean, truthfully, when you're into bullpup shotguns, you're at the outer fringes of what shotguns are traditionally. And I think none of them really took because, one, shotguns is a small... I mean, now shotguns aren't that popular in the time of the carbines and the pistol caliber carbines, especially when you drop it.
They're coming back around, though. I'm slowly seeing them start to get traction again, especially once the 1501 got released. And I'm starting to see more shotgun classes pop up. I'm seeing more in some of the higher echelon groups. I'm starting to see more shotgun talk.
I wonder if it's because of all the new gun owners over the last year and a half.
I've been trying to get Steve Fisher in Jersey for a while, and I can't get more than 4 people to say they actually will commit to take the class.
So,
and shotgun classes aren't that expensive.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Well. Yes, Zane.
The other thing about bullpup shotguns in general is that I guess I just don't understand the why behind them. Like, I understand the why behind a bullpup rifle.
Same reason, I feel.
Yeah, same concept.
Same reason.
I know where you're going, Zane.
But for me, a shotgun is better if we're not talking a military or law enforcement role, which this is apparently designed for that, according to Smith & Wesson. I utilize shotguns as more of an ambush style. Like, I'm barricaded in my bedroom and red dots on that front door or on my bedroom door, and if that door comes open, whatever opens that door is going to have a really bad day. If I need to move throughout my home for whatever reason, like I have to go get a child or something, which I don't have children, but you understand, probably going to take a handgun with a light on it, because now I need to control another human being while I'm maintaining muzzle discipline. And this thing weighs, 9.5, 10 pounds?
8.5.
Yeah.
You're not shooting this one-handed, one-shouldered, most likely.
Actually, you can. I've noticed, at least with the high point that I have, because of the weight distribution is actually back in your shoulder, and the balance is pretty much where the pistol grip is, it's easier to do one-handed, but being not semi-automatic, you know what I mean? I mean, you're gonna need both hands after the first shot. Right. You're gonna need that hand to go back to the firearm. But I understand the concept because, one, all of these bullpups have higher capacity than a regular shotgun, and that's one of the things that everyone talks about with the shotgun. And a shotgun class is nothing but you feeding a shotgun. So with like over a dozen rounds in them, yeah, you have the capacity now, and you have the power of a 12 gauge. I understand putting them all together. It's just nobody's done it well. And also, I mean, 2011 was when this particular one came out. The KSG came out. And because of the very few numbers it came out in, it didn't become a standard. You know, everybody's run an 870. Everyone's run a Mossberg. You can take the class, the loading procedures, all of them are the same. This is the one that's totally different. And it seems like until it becomes more standardized, like, how do you teach a shotgun class when a dude shows up with one of these? Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know what I can see this shining as, actually? As a breaching shotgun. So, you know,
I'd go with the KS7, bro. And KS7 weighs a lot less.
The thing with that is, how many doors do you got to go through? If I got to take 3 shots at each door because I got to knock the hinges off, or even 2 shots to knock a deadbolt, and you know what I mean? So now I got 14 rounds in the gun. I don't got to load. So I could see it being useful as the breacher for a SWAT team, maybe, if the reliability's there. But aside from that, I'm kind of with you on it. I just popped into my head though, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, what I thought you were going to go with saying about the bullpup shotguns is, you know, if you cut the barrel down, it's not like you're losing velocity on a freaking shotgun. So, like where a rifle, the bullpup, you get the velocity out of the long barrel. Well, with a shotgun, of course, in the U.S. it makes an NFA item, but yeah,
right. And that's why it makes sense with a rifle, because now I can still get my 16 inches worth of velocity in a 10-inch gun length. So that makes sense on a rifle to me. I just don't. Again, I can see a role for it for breaching, but that's about the extent of it. And, you know, maybe because Smith & Wesson will have way better production than Kel-Tec.
Yeah.
Maybe some teams will pick this up as a breaching tool, and we'll find out if it, you know, worth it.
Yeah, if it holds up and stuff. Exactly. So that was the Smith & Wesson M&P 12. Next up is something that I'm actually excited about. Our friends over at Matador Arms have released their Montgo 9. MSRP is $549.99. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right for their sake. But what this is it's an upper for AR style lowers for 9mm, so it's either 9mm or if you have one of their adapters for various pistol mags. This comes complete. It's right now. It's in pre-order. It's a complete upper, like we said. It's got a 5.5-inch barrel, a non-reciprocating and reversible charging handle. It's got a full-length pick rail. You do not need a buffer tube on your AR. It's all the recoil is built in. It is threaded .28. Let's see. They say it's a billet 9mm upper. No tools required. 4140 steel nitride bolt and trunnion for durability. The overall length of it itself is 12 1/8 inch, and it's 1.47 inches wide, and it itself weighs 3.5 pounds. But I saw they released this. I'm like, okay, this is something cool because now you can run like a folding stock without a buffer tube, which means it will fire while it's folded. 9mm pistol mags, basically all of the stuff you pretty much want in your, short, compact 9mm pistol caliber pistol. And yeah, I think it's super cool. Actually, the link in our show notes is our affiliate link. So just so people know, I saw this and I was like, okay, I really, really want this. So, hopefully we'll get one for review. If not, I don't know. I'll have to try to round up some money or something.
Sell one of those kids. You got two for a reason.
They're adults now. I can't sell them.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
rent out one
I
of
have
the
a
rooms
Glock
then.
mag lower.
Exactly. And so you get one of these and you drop it right on.
I mean, or you could just stop being poor, buy a MP5.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
good luck getting a red dot on that MP5.
So do you have an MP5, Zane?
No, I'm poor.
Yeah, okay. I am too, so I was just asking for a friend. But yeah, I thought it was cool. You guys got anything else on it, Tony, Rob?
I'm just laughing thinking about this. Oh, wow. Look at Nolan with the with the mag full freaking mag. The mag full Glock mag and this tiny thing.
The thing is see, Tony and I have met Nolan, and so yeah, and so it's. I don't know if Rob has. I don't think Zane has, but yeah. So we see these pictures and we're like, okay, but okay, Tony, quit talking about the people making it and talk about the product.
I think it's cool. It is what it is. You can get this in. It can work with the Mag-X lower. You use the Mag-X in your regular AR-15 lower, and it's just pretty cool. I wish I could have it here. Hey, guys, make this in like an 11.5 inch. That way we can make it a non-NFA in Jersey. And I can have one.
There you go.
So add another, 6 inches to the end of this barrel?
Well, see, the thing is what would be cool is, yeah, if you make it with varying lengths of barrels and then have like a handguard that matches the handguard that's there. Yeah.
If you've got an AR lower, it's already been NFA'd for an SBR, you could drop this on there and use it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because you already have an SBR lower.
Yep.
So yes,
I wonder, does it work?
do that?
Because it's not dependent on Glock mags. It just has the picture of the Glock mag.
No,
right?
They said it will work with any one of
it'll work with CZ and M&P and
any one of their Mag-X adapters will work.
So yeah, dude, you can get this for the P320, CZ75, the M&Ps, the P09, and the P10s.
Yeah, it's all the same upper. You just have to get so pretty much if it uses a standard AR upper, this will basically pop on and off of it. So whatever lower you have, apparently it should work with, or their mag adapters, so you said.
But you have to order one Mag-X for each different type of mag. So like if you've got an M&P or a P320, you'd have to order two different Mag-X's.
Well, but if you already have a standard lower, like yours takes Glock mags, and there's a few others that take a few other different mags, like the M&P mag ones, lowers from like New Frontier Armory or something. They'll use like H&K MP5 mags, or any one of those should still work with this. Or if you have a standard AR-15 lower, then you'd have to order
MP5
like their
MP5 mags probably won't work with
they
they double.
Yeah, they're a double.
feed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're double feed.
Yeah, so you probably can't use those or Colt mags with it, I assume. I could be wrong, but I assume you can't do that.
Well, but you have to remember that I think you probably can, because like the Faxon bolts, they'll work with either in your normal
Yeah,
AR. So they probably have it cut so it'll do both, similar to a regular, bolt carrier like those. Would be my guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is neat. I mean, yeah, pistol caliber,
Pistol.
not my thing, but I mean, this is one of the better designs that I've seen.
Says the guy with pistol caliber pistol.
Yeah, exactly. But
I don't
And this-
like it. Though.
yeah, I like the design. The price is decent for what you get. I mean, it's complete and it's not
What's
The
the
norm.
price on this? What, like $500?
$550.
$550.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's for a complete upper.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Out of stock?
bad. Like,
It's pre-order.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's pre-order.
yeah. That's not a bad price for a completed upper, especially you don't have to. I mean, there's no buffer assembly you have to deal with. I mean, that's not a bad price at all.
Yeah.
You know what's really nice about this? It's got an external charging handle that's reversible, but it doesn't reciprocate.
Yes.
Yep.
If you own the FN Scar, every time that freaking the charging handle goes back, you're darn near going to rip your thumb off if it's in the wrong position.
And you can use their Sidewinder on this
Yep.
when you put it together, which is weighs less than the law.
Right, because it's not. You can't.
It doesn't have a
use
buffer.
Yeah, it's only for non-buffer tube using ARs. I guess I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, so you don't need a buffer tube. You don't need all that extra weight. I mean, dude, you can put this together and have a pretty decent truck gun, again, in 9mm, but still a pretty decent truck gun.
Yeah. So that was the Matador Arms Montgomery 9. Next up, another soon to be released, is the Diamondback Sidekick. MSRP is $320. Tony's over there whistling. This is their 22 revolver, single action, 9 rounds of 22. It does come with a convertible cylinder to 22 mag. Actually, it's single or double action. Sorry. At least that's what it says in here. Basically, blade front sight, integral rear sight. The barrel's 4.5 inches long. The whole thing is just under 10 inches. It is zinc for the frame and handle. Of course, it has plastic nylon grips on it. Of course, it's black Cerakoted. It weighs 32.5 ounces. But yeah, basically they brought this out. The price isn't terrible. I'm not a huge fan of Diamondback, though I hear they're doing better than they used to do. So I'd have to see it to see if it's something I would say is worthwhile. Single action 22s are, 9 rounds they're fun. If you're shooting, rats or something in your backyard or something, might be worthwhile. I think it's to compete with like the Wrangler and whatever the other one is that's like this. But it's out there.
Yeah.
The Heritage Rough Rider.
Yeah, that's the one. But it being a 9 round,
I have a Wrangler.
yeah. I
right.
don't like the Wranglers personally, but hey,
The Wranglers, as cheap as the Rough Rider feels, the Wrangler feels a little better, but it feels weird too.
Okay, you got a point there.
All right. Yeah, it just...
I just hate Cerakoted revolvers.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me too.
That was my biggest complaint with the Wrangler, and Diamondback's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we could do that." And isn't this? Doesn't Diamondback pretty much make copies of Kel-Tecs?
No.
No.
Diamondback makes... you mean their pistols? Their handguns
that
aren't good looking.
Yeah.
I don't think their handguns are good looking at all. But I'm looking at this and I'm hoping that they do something. I hope you can swap these grips out with something that doesn't look this horrible. The grips are ugly. Outside of that, though, it's double action and single action,
Yes.
and it has a swing out cylinder. So to me, that just beats, in my personal opinion, that hand down beats both the Wrangler and the Rough Rider.
Right.
And again, being double action, hopefully they have a smooth trigger pull. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be great, but it shouldn't be horrible. Yeah, other than a beautification program to actually do something with those grips, I think it's pretty cool, and I wish them the best of luck.
Hey, if you want better grips, thank God for 3D printers.
Yeah, right. Looks like that's how they made these.
Thank you.
It really does, but it has a swing out cylinder. I think that's cool. Unlike the Wranglers, this can also swap to 22 Magnum.
Yep.
So, and I think if it's a good build, and it comes out on my birthday, which is awesome. If it's a good build, hey, more power to them. I mean, I think they might just. I don't know if they're going to be. Look, they're starting out late. I mean, everybody knows about Heritage Rough Riders. And then you got the Wrangler, which is Ruger. So they got an uphill battle to fight in the 22, you know what I mean? In the 22 single action or 22 revolver world.
Right.
But they're a lot cheaper, a lot less expensive than the more expensive Rimfire Ruger. I forgot which one that is.
Oh, the single six.
Or the Bearcat or the single six.
Yeah, either one of those, yeah.
Yeah, those are much more expensive. And again, they don't have the swing. At least the Bearcat doesn't have the swing out cylinder. Does the?
I don't think it does either. The single six or whatever it is, I don't think it does either. But I could be wrong.
So because I'm looking for it now, and none of them are in double action. So truthfully, they might have created their own niche, and hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see one whenever I find one at the
These
local
are great
store.
plinking guns or something to take to the range and have fun with. I mean, come on. I'd love something like this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I have an original Ruger Bearcat, so it's not like I need something. But
Yeah, I learned to shoot on a single action 22.
yeah.
And I wonder what the sight gutter looks like. You know, I mean, is it a really clean sight picture?
It's
because they don't have a photo of it.
Yeah, but it's probably not terrible. I mean, any of these designed ones usually aren't terrible.
Well, the Ruger's really. I think that was what I liked about the Ruger. That it really has like a really sharp. The sides are sharp.
Yeah, an actual square, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's deeper. So hopefully, hey, listen, I don't wish them any ill will because they stopped speaking to me.
No,
in our last podcast.
I actually hope that this actually is decent because, like you said, it might be double action, 9 rounds. It might be a fun gun just to have, and the price isn't terrible. You know, who knows what their street price is going to be, but you figure $300, if not less. That $275 or something maybe. That's not a terrible price. So, yeah.
And if it sells well, they'll have they could have regular like target sights on it. Imagine this with target sights, 4.5-inch barrel, target sights that are adjustable. I mean, this could be a real accurate shooter.
Yeah, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here.
Yep.
Yeah, wish them the best.
Yep. So
9 rounds, so it'd be legal in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So
and again, 22 Mag. Oh, and by the way, can everybody stop talking about how 22 Magnum is a good self-defense round? Could we stop that, please? Thank you. That's all.
Were we saying that?
No, but I was looking at different things because I wanted to be able to compare this and talk about it between, the Ruger and the Heritage. And one of the things almost everybody said in the Heritage is you could use it for defensive rounds if you need to for 22 Magnum.
And that's a single action revolver for defensive
a single action revolver with a safety on it.
Yeah, okay. So that was the Diamondback Sidekick, which is...
Who are these people? Doc Holliday?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
No, White Earp,
Jeez.
Buffalo Bill Cody.
Well, I don't like it. I don't care what y'all say. I don't like it.
Well, we know that.
Of course you don't like
it's a 22.
It's 22.
So that's a given. Okay, so like I said, that was the Diamondback Sidekick. Next up is the Artisan Cutlery Predator. MSRP is $73.99. It's a pocket knife. It is a flipper. I kind of went on like Blade HQ or something, and I was looking for stuff in this price range that got decent review brand wise, because you never know, so I was like, oh, okay, this one's a little different, but the blade length is 3 3/4 inches, 150 thousandths thick, stonewash blade. You can get it in 4 different color of G10 handles, which will say something. It is a D2 steel. So of course, hardened to 59 to 61 Rockwell. It's a drop point blade. Open, it's 9.17 inches long. Closed, it's 5.43. It is a stainless steel clip, which is a deep pocket clip, if I remember right. Yes, and it's a liner lock. It does have ceramic ball bearings as the pivot assembly. It weighs 6 ounces, so it's not light, but it does have a glass breaker / screwdriver in the end of the handle. And then it looks like it's got like some sort of, I guess you could say it's a seatbelt cutter, but I don't know exactly. Up by the handle, it's got like a cutout. Like it looks like like a seatbelt cutter would look, but then the blade extends to the front, out the front of it. That's what I'm guessing it's for, but you can't use it when the knife's closed. So I'm like, well, you got to open the knife, and now you got a knife. So I don't understand.
Yeah, so when you're cutting your seatbelt, you might cut your jugular.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, you can't use the strap cutter with the blade closed?
Not that I can see.
No.
Because it looks like it goes into the handle.
Yeah, it goes into the handle. Thank you, Zane.
Because I don't have the picture up, obviously, so I'm trying to envision it. So it's not like there's a cutout in the handle and it uses the actual blade as the cutter.
No,
closed.
no.
It's a standalone cutter.
That's on the blade itself, up by the just in front of where you hold the handle.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I know those kind of strap cutters. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that style.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. But I'm like, nah. If it didn't have that, I think the glass breaker / screwdriver in the back, I'm like, nah. Looks like you can put normal hex bits in it if you needed to use it as a screwdriver. So, as like some sort of more utility knife, maybe. Like we said, you can get orange scales, green scales, black scales, or camouflage scales, which is what Tony put in the show notes.
Yeah, I put the camouflage scale in the show notes. Yeah, I thought it was kind of ugly.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a super pretty good looking knife either.
And because they have other versions of this Predator, actually.
Yes.
And in place of the seatbelt cutter, or whatever this thing is supposed to be,
right.
It has a finger choil, and that makes more sense than the seatbelt cutter.
Yes,
in my opinion.
And those are ones that are like in the $150 range, correct? I think so.
Yeah. Actually, it was. It's $150, and then they have one that's like $250.
Right.
The answer is no to all of them, and it's heavier than it needs to be for the blade length.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this thing's a little heavy. I wanted to put it in here just as a discussion because I'm like, it seems heavy to me, and the seatbelt cutter thing seems like it's kind of pointless. Like, I was looking around their site, and they have a bunch of other, folding knives in this price range that look like normal, probably decent quality knives. This one was just weird enough that I was like, I want to know if anybody thinks this is a good idea.
I mean, like the blade design is weird.
I can speak to that a little bit.
Okay.
If I ever get around to doing my review on knives, you will see that I only will carry a knife that has a standalone strap cutter and a window breaker on. Those are two things I require on a knife for utility purpose. So this interests me, although the strap cutter is stupid in this case because I want one that I can use with the blade closed. Because that's the point. If I got a knife open, I'll use that. Because I don't actually use it for seatbelts. I've used strap cutters on 2 of different knives to cut through clothing on trauma patients before. And obviously I don't want to do that with an open knife for very obvious reasons.
Yep.
So I like those features on a knife. The only exception I would point to is if you don't know, after 2019, I believe, maybe 2020, side windows on vehicles are laminate, just like your windshield.
Yep.
So if you drive a 2020 or newer, you're not getting through your window with that glass break.
Well, it'll shatter it, but it stays in one piece, so then you have to push it out. Correct?
Yeah, it's just like a windshield.
Yeah, like the front.
It's just like a windshield. Yeah, it's so I like the features because of what I do where I'm at, just my lifestyle. I find about twice, sometimes 3 times a year, vehicles in canals with people in them. It's just a thing that happens around here. So the ability to quickly cut a seatbelt, quickly shatter a window with what's in my pocket right now is very useful.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to go gator hunting.
Yeah, gator hunting with the car. Also,
and there's not a lot of knives out on the market that have standalone strap cutters. Like, I mean, because I have all 4 of them, the ones that exist.
Right.
And that's what I did that review on. Eventually, I'll do it on the show. I'll at least send it to you so you can publish it.
He'll finish it eventually.
And maybe I'll do it on the show.
It's not 2025 yet.
The other thing I want to say is stop with the tools. Stop with the tools, because there's no way to actually use the screwdriver on the end that makes sense. You're holding the whole knife. What's up?
I just noticed something. The belt clip for this thing is at the end of the screwdriver. So if you clip it in your belt, that screwdriver is going to be pointed right up at you. So as soon as you bend over, or like me, my fat's going to fold right on top of that screwdriver, and it's going to jab me all freaking day.
Exactly.
I'm just
or it's going to poke a hole. If you carry in your back pocket like I do, it's going to poke a hole in your leather seats.
Yep. I'm just looking at the overall design going, listen, man, be fish or fowl. Be one or the other, because it's kind of bad.
Yep.
At what it does.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
So I used to carry a multi-tool quite a bit when I was in the Marines, and then a little bit after that. What I've come to realize is the amount of time it takes you to turn a bolt or a screw or whatever with that BS little thing. I could have just walked to my toolbox, got the correct tool, and got the job done in the same. So yeah, I'm kind of with you, Tony, on the little screwdrivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool, but no thank you. A bottle opener, that'd be cool.
Yeah, bottle opener, punch for your cigar. I'm just saying, as I'm looking at it, as I've worked with multi-tools, they really suck because they're a compromise. Mm-hmm. And unless you're somewhere that you can't go back out or you can't get to it, you can work with this thing. But really, outside of MacGyver-like TV shows and situations that people invented for you to use these, a regular tool is better. Look, get a knife, get your regular tools, you're cool. This combo is badly designed, and no one really carried it. And what's the purpose of a lanyard hole that's so small that you can't fit anything into it? You see the size of the lanyard hole on this thing?
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, it's like a lot of features executed poorly.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
And that's what I kind of found when I was doing the comparison on the 4 knives that I have is there's a lot of knives on the market that call themselves rescue tools, and they have, strap cutters and oxygen wrenches and 1/4-inch hex drives and all these things, but most of them were not very well thought out. Like I said, I only found 4 that looked to be thought out pretty well, and I don't know.
The rest are Rube Goldberg things.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the Artisan Cutlery Predator, along with a bunch of other stuff we talked about. We do have listener feedback. It says, great show, 5 stars. If you can get through the intro, the show is actually pretty good. That's from Mango357. Zane, I guess it's time for you to make a shorter intro.
Yeah, it is a little long.
Yeah.
That's what the fast forward button is for.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Fast forward a couple times.
Exactly.
Or just don't listen to the show. What?
What? Don't listen to Tony.
I keep forgetting that's the same. We're still using that intro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So, we'd appreciate it if you get bored and want to make us a new one. But thank you for
set my sound back up.
for the listener feedback. We appreciate it. We're glad you like the show. Now Tony,
if you have an intro, I'll be danged.
Yeah, now Tony can tell us everything about diversity.
Hey guys, get ready to go to the next diversity shoot. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have really cool guns at the Heritage Guild in Easton, PA on September 16th. That's a Thursday, 6 p.m. Again, the Heritage Guild, Easton, PA. Tickets are already on my social media, pinned to the top of the Twitter page at Second for Everyone. It's in my bio on Instagram. It's Simon Says Train. And I think it's, and it's also in, the second is for everyone on Facebook. So, yep, you can buy tickets to the newest event. It's going to be fun. We're going to be out in PA. I don't know which gun I'm going to ask them to bring out this time. Last time it was an MP5. The time before that was Thompson. So, come out, have fun, shoot guns, meet Second Amendment advocates, eat pizza, win prizes. So we got some pretty cool stuff, and I'm about to contact a couple of T-shirt makers to get so you can win T-shirts there too. And hope to see you there. And if you want to support the work we do, you can donate to go to diversityshoot.com, donate to our PayPal. You can also go on Patreon and donate for the McRib of podcast. They don't come out steadily, but when you do, you look forward to them. I'll be recording one this week, so I can't wait for you guys to download the newest show, episode 84, Effin' Nebraska.
Woohoo. When did you go to Nebraska? Like 2 months ago?
Nope. A month ago. Shut your face.
So send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, or leave us a review anywhere else you deem necessary. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider for, reviews, links to various things. You can find everything there. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Peace.
If you've enjoyed this edition of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear podcast, then go to firearmsradio.tv to hear more firearm-related shows.